Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Bad Moon. This movie was just such a surprise. I really haven't heard that much about it at all, and I went in with not really any expectations. You know, I'm a big fan of werewolf movies in general, so I'm like, hey, let me check this out. I was looking for something short to watch. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. But the trailer really didn't give me anything. The trailers that I could find on YouTube were awesome because they gave like nothing away about the movie. So I didn't really know what to expect. And, like I said, I haven't heard about this movie that much over the years. Like, I really haven't heard about it at all over the years. Like, you never, when you hear people talk about werewolf movies, I never hear people who are like, yo, bro, you gotta watch Bad Moon. That's the best werewolf movie. You gotta watch it. It's awesome. So, yeah, I went into this not really knowing much about it, not really hearing much about it, not really having any expectations. And there's really like nothing wrong with this movie. This movie is solid. I had a great time with it. Um, I mean, why do people not talk about this more? Like, this is a solid werewolf movie. It's just like there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, of course there's like one thing that I wrote down that was kind of a problem, but not even really. But I mean, like, it was just like such a serviceable werewolf movie. Not just serviceable. It was good, But I mean, like, there's so many, like, there's a lot of werewolf movies that I just don't rock with, and this was just like, it was solid, and it wasn't even like generic. I feel like it had some unique qualities to it. Like, it was cool. I thought this was a solid movie, which I've said 50 times already, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. So the first thing that I want to talk about is how actually I'll probably give a little plot summary just so everything that I'm talking about makes sense, and just so you all know, getting into spoiler territory here. So uh, yeah, if you want, probably skip ahead a little bit because I'm gonna spoil some stuff. So you have this gentleman. He's out in the jungle. He's with his girl. They're just getting it on. One thing leads to another. She gets killed by a werewolf. He gets attacked by the werewolf. And then we're introduced to this woman. She's a single mom. She lives out in the countryside with her young son. And the gentleman at the beginning, we find out that he is actually this woman's brother, and he is actually back in the United States. And so here's the deal. He's just staying in like a little camper, and they're like, why haven't we heard from you? Why haven't you told us that you're back? There's something up, and they know it. They're on to him, and some crazy stuff goes down. These animal attacks go down right where the uncle is located, and they see it. The woman sees it on the news, and she's like, come stay with us. And big spoiler. This is not really a spoiler because if you see the first scene of this movie, you kind of understand what's going to happen. But the uncle, he's a werewolf, and every single night, he turns to a werewolf. So there's all these happenings, and people think there's wolves on the loose, but it's actually him. So throughout the movie, the family dog is like messing with him, and weird stuff starts happening, and everyone's questioning everything, and that's that. So that's the basic plot. So first thing that I want to get into is just how this man got attacked. I thought was absolutely crazy. Like how he initially got turned into a werewolf. He's just having sex with this girl in this tent, and they're like really getting it on. Like they're like really getting passionate with it. Like, like respect. Like I was like, oh snap. Like they were going pretty hard. But anyways, like while they're having sex, like my dude's mid stroke, and then this werewolf just rips open the tent, snatches up his girl, just mutilates her, kills her, and then attacks this gentleman, scratches them all up, and then we assume that he's a werewolf. I just like when I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking well, when I saw that, I was like, heck yeah, like, all right, let's go. Like, it was just so crazy. Like, it was just I didn't expect there to be that much action in the beginning, and then you actually see the werewolf like up close, and you had some Carnage candy going on, all kinds of blood. I was like, I didn't know it was gonna be that intense that early on, and then for that to happen like while they're having sex was crazy, and I was immediately on board. I'm like, all right, if this person gets turned into a werewolf mid sex scene, like you got me. I'm on board. You got my attention. So that was cool, and the thing that I was just thinking, like I was just like putting myself in his shoes, like that would be mad traumatizing. Like, he's like obviously in love with this woman, because I mean they weren't just like having sex, like they were straight up making love. They were getting like I said, they were getting passionate with it, they were getting intimate with it. Like, so this woman that you love is just like killed in front of you while you're mid stroke, and then he's probably still standing at attention, and like I don't know, if you were just in that like just blissful state of mind, and then that happened and someone got killed in front of you while you're still, you're still in that mood, that's gotta mess you up. Like, I mean, if that happened regardless, that would mess you up, but that's just a weird circumstance. Like, your thing will get soft real quick. Like, it's just, I mean, what's up with these werewolves just killing the mood? I mean, like, what a cock block, I mean, come on, like, my guy, like, at least let my dude, like, finish before you're gonna just mutilate his girlfriend, you silly werewolf. But anyways, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, that'd be traumatizing. Like, it's such an intimate moment to be, to just, like, witness your girl getting killed and be like, and then you get all, like, scratched up and attacked, and you're trying to, like, fight. Like, you're not in the right, mental place for that. Alright, another random thing that I'm just laughing because that first whole thing that I talked about was kind of funny. I mean, that's what I wanted to talk about on here. I feel like I wasn't like inappropriate with it, but I mean if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's what was going through my mind. Just being honest on here. So another random thing that I want to talk about, the werewolf, like the first werewolf, and once the uncle turns into a werewolf, the werewolves look absolutely amazing in this movie. I'm not a fan of like a werewolf that's just looks like a wolf. Like a lot of movies, you'll see a werewolf and it's just looks like a normal wolf on all fours. And I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand that. Like, what's the point? Like, it's just you just turn into a wolf. That's not scary. That's not cool. Like, I like a full-on like wolf man where it's like you're on all fours, you're huge, and you kind of like look distorted. You don't look like a normal wolf. This wolf looks amazing. Like, it's like a huge, jacked, like 7 foot tall man standing on 2 feet, covered in hair, and just like the craziest fangs going on. Like, the werewolf looks awesome, and it's all practical. It's not like a CGI werewolf. It's some sort of suit or some sort of animatronic. The face is most likely some sort of animatronic. It looks amazing. Another thing that I thought was pretty darn cool was in this movie, it's not just a full moon that'll turn you into a werewolf, every moon. So every night, whenever the moon is out, you turn into a werewolf. And you don't need silver bullets to kill the werewolf. You can just shoot the werewolf a bunch. He's like, yeah, you can just blow their head up with a shotgun. I like that, okay? It's a different take. I just reviewed Martin on the channel recently. You know, I like those vampire movies that take a realistic approach. Of course, I still like the crazy theatrical stuff. I'm still a fan of Lost Boys and stuff like that. I like, you know, other classic werewolf movies where you gotta kill them with the silver bullet or they only turn on the full moon. But I like, that's just such a simple little change, and I like it. I like how it's like a twist, like people, like the kids watching the Wolfman, and then it's like, you know, it's not like it is in the movies. It's like, no, it's like every full moon, and no, you can just kill it like you would kill anything. It was some unique stuff, and I thought it was awesome. A scene that was super sad was when the dog was being taken away. I'm not even like a big animal person. Of course, like I like animals, but you know, I had like a couple dogs growing up. I haven't had a dog in a long time, but even though I'm not like a, you know, like the biggest dog lover ever, when this dog was getting taken away, I was like so sad. I was like, oh my goodness, like it was just so emotional, because like the dog was, you know, really cool. He was trying to protect the family throughout the whole thing, and like the kid and the dog had like a pretty cool bond, and then he was like super sad, and it was just, they were like taking him away. He's like barking like crazy, like it was just, he was just barking like crazy. It was just, it was super sad, and the performances were great. Like the kid like was just so sad, and for a child actor, he did like a great job in the entire movie. Yeah, so that scene just, that got me messed up. I was hecka sad. Another thing, good practical effects. I pretty much talked about that. You know, the werewolf looks great. Whenever anyone is cut up, when you see gore, there's some decent gore. This one guy gets his throat slit. That looks pretty good. There's like early on in the movie when the uncle initially gets attacked, you see him, he's all bloody. Later on, he's all bloody. It's all practical. It looks great. So this is the one thing that I said was excuse me with the sniffling. I'm still a little sick. I'm sorry if it's annoying. So earlier I said there was one thing that was kind of a dislike for me, but not that big of a dislike, and that's the transformation scene was kind of lame, kind of lackluster, and it was kind of weird. Like, I don't know, it didn't gel with me. So it was like a bunch of CGI, and it was like all wonky, like the side of his head got all big, and it was not a great transformation scene. And that is a big part of werewolf movies in general. Like, you want to see a good transformation scene. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, it was still serviceable. It was still cool, you know. It was cool initially when he was like first turning, when you see he has like the fangs and the eyes, and that was all practical. That was cool. But the way they did it, it just looked weird. Like when he was half werewolf, like his head was all like lumpy, and it looked kind of goofy. It was just, yeah, it was not the best transformation scene. A little bit weird in my opinion. But yeah, that was like pretty much the only dislike I had. Something else I wanted to talk about. The kid was badass and the dog was badass. The dog was helping everyone. Not everyone. He was helping the family throughout the film, sticking up for him. He was like on to the uncle. He could sense that he was a werewolf. Like they could sense each other. He actually, like, the dog like leapt through the window to like push the werewolf out the window, and he got all messed up. And he not initially, he ended up killing the werewolf eventually. So yeah, the dog was super badass, and then the kid was badass. He like went and broke the dog out of the pound, and he's like jumping fences and doing all kinds of little badass stuff. So I mean, you got some badass characters going on. So that's what's up. And then the last thing that I wrote was I pretty much already talked about earlier, and that's just that this movie was super solid. So yeah, I think this movie was great. I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen it until now. Would I watch it again? Absolutely. Absolutely would watch it. I mean, it's up there with other great werewolf films. I think this is a solid movie. I feel like more people should see this. More people should talk about it. I'm definitely, going to talk about it if that ever comes up, because that comes up every day. I pretty much, talk to my acquaintances about werewolves probably at least 3 times a week. So, when that comes up, I'll be like, "Yo, you gotta check out Bad Moon," and they'll be like, "What? What is that? I've never heard of that. Is that a real movie?" But anyways, yeah, I think more people should check this out. I think it's definitely worth your time. If you're a fan of horror movies, werewolf movies, go watch it. I always see this on all kinds of streaming services for free. I watched it for free on Tubi, and it's only an hour and 20 minutes. So it's not a huge time commitment. I think it's definitely worth your time, and if you're a horror fan, if you're a werewolf fan, you'll definitely enjoy it. And I think this movie definitely needs more praise. I feel like it didn't even have like a great rating. Like when I looked it up, I feel like the Rotten Tomatoes rating was not that high. But those, I mean, who really do people really like care about those? Like what some goofball movie critic said. I mean, I'm like on here, I'm supposed to be a movie critic, but not really. I'm just out here like having fun, talking about movies that I like. Like some of these cats are too hard on movies. It's like lighten up, like take a chill pill, like have fun. I mean, get it together, get with the program. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.